Shalom. All right, Shalom, Shalom. We the Hebrew Israelites. We come out here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of America. To let the so-called Negroes, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called Native Americans know that you are the true children of Israel according to the Holy Bible. You are the only nation of people upon the planet Earth who have a chance of salvation, right? And who have a chance to repent for their sins, according to the book of Acts, the 5th chapter and the 31st verse. All right, so we're out here to prophesy the demise, the downfall of this kingdom, and the incoming of the kingdom, the everlasting kingdom, which is the nation, the kingdom of Yahushai, which is in a joint air fashion, is the kingdom of the nation of Israel. All right, so before we get started, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Wachakodash. I want to send double honor to the elders, apostles, and bishops at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and safety is to the hopeful elect Akim out there doing this work. Much love to the scattered elect and to the few sincere women that subscribe to the true doctrine. So we're going to get straight into it, man. Let's get Romans 13 and verse 11. All right, so, and also get 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. All right, so there's a lot that's been going on in the news, man. All right, so you have these uproars that are going on in different places of the world, such as France. The brother sent something through the chat that I was looking at the other day and earlier today as well. You know how they're pissed off, the citizens over there in France. They're pissed off, all right, because of the pretty much funds are getting cut, all right. And this is causing an uproar. Also in Nepal, in Nepal, they're really going crazy, man. Right? They're going crazy because they were pretty much the internet, or not the internet, the social media content. It's pretty much been cut. They've pretty much been cut off from the internet. They're not able to. And it's a lot of young cats. And you know how young people are. They love their internet. They love their social media. They love to know what's going on in the world, and they've been cut off from that. Okay, so that's been causing issues over there, right? Also, you got the thing going on with this activist that just got shot. You got allegedly, we'll just say allegedly, who was assassinated earlier this week. You have people in the uproar, the left and the right hand, the left side and the right side. There's now tension. Okay, as you have Trump. He's utilizing this so-called assassination to attack the left side, man. Okay, and he's about to come down with something's going to come down the pipe. All right, something's going to come down the pipe to where there's some type of unrest is going to follow all these events that are going on. Okay, but these are the signs of the times. All right, certain things like these are the signs of the times. And this is what we're coming out here to blow the trumpet on. So, let's get into it. Let's get that, the 2nd Ezra first.
2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Right, measure thou the time diligently in itself. All right, and how do we measure the times? By these prophecies. All right, but it's gonna further elaborate. All right, this is how we're measuring the times. All right.
And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before,
and we're going to see, the whole world's going to see it. These same prophecies, starting with our elders and apostles here at Great Millstone, from the elder apostles on down, have been talking about the MOTB, have been talking about a financial collapse, have been talking about famines, I've been talking about uproars of the people. They've been talking about this for 30, 40 plus years. And now we see these things coming to pass. We see these things happening right before our eyes, to the point where even those who don't necessarily believe in the scriptures, now they're starting to believe. All right, well, not believe in the Bible, but they're starting to believe that this is some type of a biblical event. Right? It says we must be living in the last days, or how even the Christians will say the time of the rapture is at hand, which is no such thing as a rapture. Okay, there's no such thing as a rapture. What we have to come is the really the third world war is being ramped up. The end time prophecies are just increasing. That's all it is. Okay, the rapture is nothing but this place being destroyed. Essentially, it's really, we call it the demise of Babylon, the destruction. But there's a build up before that destruction comes. So even the world is starting to see it. Right, the Lord is making the world, the unbelievers, believers now, man.
It says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I told thee before.
It's lucky, because it says part of the signs. Because one of the major signs that we know before this place actually falls down, all right, before those prophecies really speed up, is the Revelation 13 and 15 on down. It speaks about the micro sea hip, also known as the mark of the beast. Which right now, what they're doing, what Trump is attempting to do at least, is taking the U.S. debt, which is over 37 trillion, and he's trying to pretty much put that into crypto to alleviate the debt of America, which that's not, essentially it's not going to help. It's going to hurt more than it's going to help. Okay, but the point is, when you put it into crypto or stable coin, that is a digital currency, meaning that this is eventually that's going to be your only means of buying and selling. Because the point of that is to get rid of the dollar is going to be a thing of naught. So they're gonna be in league with this this digital currency, which if you're an American citizen, especially, just like you've been seeing going on in certain places like Sweden, or even China, where they're switching over to doing everything digital, right? All the way down to the payments, and that same thing is coming right here to Babylon, and Trump is showing forth that. Okay, so it's a matter of time before that's a reality for Americans, man.
It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
And it's the very same time, man. We're seeing it. Okay, it says that what is that? Ezekiel 33 and verse 33. Okay, it says, lo, it will come, because the Lord had prophesied these things from the beginning of time, before ever man was created. And now we're seeing it play out. And this is why you hear the Apostle Tahar and other apostles and different brothers say, and I very much concur, is, I would say just more from their standpoint, because they've been, doing this work. We enter into their labors. We told you so. And it was the Spirit that spoke. It wasn't our mortal flesh. It was the Spirit that spoke through the men of the Lord. You get that Ezekiel 33 and go up to verse 30.
This is Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses.
Right, all that stuff that they've been talking, all the stuff that you non-believers have been talking against the prophets. Oh, that's the Bible days. Oh, that's not going to happen. Well, now guess what? Well, we're gonna get it, because it's just showing the magnificence of the Lord, that He was going to have people set up that were going to be talking stuff against the prophets. So Peter even said that in the last days that there will come scoffers. All right, you go ahead.
And speak one to another, everyone to his brother, saying, come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord.
Right, and that word that come forth, that we push, starting with the elders and apostles on down, is repentance, which is turning from your sins. Also pushing prophecies, Okay, the MOTB, the destruction of this kingdom, the kingdom that we have to come to pass, so on and so forth. All these things have been being spoken by the men of the Lord. All right, unto it says unto to our what's that, our brethren or our neighbors.
Everyone to his brother.
Everyone to his brother, and our brothers, you know, through the bloodline and through a seed line are these people on the sign, the Israelites. Okay.
Yeah. When they hear that these people are like saying this in a mocking manner, they're like, okay, let's see what these prophets got to say. The same way that people say today. You know, you're like, all right, what message y'all got? What y'all talking about? You know, because we preach the word, yet, you know, they don't have faith. The things that we're preaching isn't manifesting to them the way that they want it to. It's not popping up right in their face, which it is lately more than ever, but you still got people that scoffing against it, you know? And it's the same thing that was going on in ancient times when the prophets would come and then sit around and be like, oh, okay, here this prophet come. What you guys say to us today?
Right.
And they acting like they listen, but they really not. Right. It says
there's no new thing under the sun, man. It said that the Lord has sent his prophets be times rising up early to prophesy unto the people, you know, roughly paraphrasing that precept. But you have the men of the Lord from generation to generation doing the same thing we're doing today. All right?
And they come unto thee as the people coming, and they sit before thee as my people.
Hey, what they say, I love y'all message. I love what y'all talking about. You know, even you have even some people that perceive to be Israelites, at least, that'll drive by and, you know, and say certain things that complement what we're saying, and you don't know what we're talking about. Right? Individuals that may come up, oh, I love what y'all talking about. Yeah, that's right, but let's read on, because the precepts is going to tell you exactly what those same type of individuals will do.
And they come unto thee as the people coming, and they sit before thee as my people.
They'll sit there and they'll listen to you talk. Go ahead.
And they hear thy words, but they will not do them.
But they ain't going to do them. As soon as they walk off, they going right back to regular old, whatever it is they was doing. Whatever it is they was doing. And that's really a sentiment that these churches push, man. Or that comes from the churches. Not that the churches push, but that comes from the churches. You know, even me when I was in the world, man. When I would go to church, I was a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm going into the church. You know, I'm sitting there, I listen. Yeah, I went to church today. That was my mindset. I went to church today. And I leave out and I still be that same person. That's the same energy that comes from these individuals that go to these churches. That's what this is talking about, right? When you come up to the congregation and you seem enthused, you seem interested, but really it's just good words to you with no action. Go ahead.
For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goes after their covetousness.
Which their heart is their mind, all right? That lab. That's what the Hebrew word is for heart is lab, which is your mind, all right? That their mind is not fixed on the Lord. Go ahead.
And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet had been among them.
Lo, it will come, right? So you have many that will scoff at the prophecies that are brought out. Many that will like even with these debates, try to debunk the Hebrew Israelite movement, which is not a movement, it's our life, okay? This is our culture, this is our history. But the point is, they will know, those unbelievers, you will know that a prophet of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai had been among you, which a prophet in ancient times was a seer, one who was telling the future. All right? And how were these men able to tell the future? They had the Spirit on them. The Lord put His Holy Spirit on them. All right, but we can get back to it. Yeah.
You know, because what the precept was harping on is that the prophets is speaking and the prophecies are coming to pass, and you have people that are hearing these things, that are listening to these things, yet they're not taking heed. They hear, but they don't listen. And so this, it's like, where do we fall in this? Where do the hopeful elect fall in this? Because you have people you got the 2/3. You got people that's stuck in their ways, that's in the world. They're going to continue to do what they're going to do. But for us who are striving for salvation, we can fall into this category at times as well, to where, the elders say certain things, or we may preach certain things, and then we're not exercising. And that can't be so.
That's beautiful.
The scriptures say, knowing that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? We see all these things going on in the news. We see Trump is coming down, and he's sending a National Guard city by city. The situation with the girl getting stabbed on the bus, this Charlie Kirk assassination, this is breeding strife in this country. Some things are about to implode. Trump is coming down heavy. People turning against each other. So we need protection in these times. Yeah. But if we're seeing all these things going on, we're continuing to walk in whatever wicked way we may be walking, we won't be protected. We fall into the same category with these people that heard the prophecies and they didn't change. They didn't listen. How much better are we if we continue to do things we ain't supposed to be doing, knowing that these things are coming down the way that they are? You know?
And that's the spirit that you said that, because I forget what scripture I had read earlier, but it came across that same thought that came across my mind as we know all these things that's going on. The Most High given us the eyesight to see what's going on and to be able to teach these things. Was like, damn, where do I fall into this? Because it's and even the elder brothers that say it too. You know what I'm saying? Oft times is how good is information? How good is information if you're not utilizing it? How good are these prophecies even to us that are teaching if we're taking them lightly?
Yeah, it's
Bible shot. You know, because we at any time we can get caught up, man. You know, and that's ultimately that's part of the Most High trying us to see if we are approved in his ministry more than speakers, but also doers.
Proverbs 27:12 says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." You know, so us hiding ourselves, what is us actively hiding ourselves from these troubles to come? We're trying to be made right with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But there's an repentance and action that comes with that. We can't just, have this word. Us having this word is us seeing the evil, but the prudence is seeing the evil and then actively doing what we need to do to make sure that we're on the right side when these things come, to make sure that the Lord is a strong tower unto us. You know.
Real quick. Nah. Yeah, we can get to it.
You want to go back to the second Ezra?
Yeah, Bible shot.
This is second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 3. It says, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee."
The Most High never left us without signs, man. He never left us without signs. You know, and the fact that you have men that may look just like you, that so-called bleed just like you do, put on their pants one leg at a time like you do, but they have the Spirit of the Lord on them to be able to analyze these things through the Spirit and bring them out, you don't believe it. Or you don't recognize it as this is biblical prophecy. Right? Like the main controversy, prophecy-wise, is the mark of the beast, man. All right? Because, you have different sects of Israel or even individuals in the world. I'll just start with the sects of Israel, mainly because those are the ones that are pushing it, is, you hear the men of the Lord, which I believe wholeheartedly to be the men of Great Millstone with the Elder Apostle Hall and down. I believe that these are the men of the Lord, but you have them as they've been speaking about this for years. Because they're men just like Bishop Nathaniel is a man, or like Tazariak is a man, or like them over there Genesis are men. Okay? Not all men are going to agree upon this prophecy, mainly because I believe it too, because you didn't think of it first. All right, and really, with that, to think of it first is meaning that the Spirit wasn't dealing with you to understand it and bring it out. So now you have some type of confrontation against that. But this is the truth, and it's like we read earlier in this chapter. When thou seest part of the things coming to pass that I have told you, we see it. Even these Edomites, these so-called white people, these what they call them, whistleblowers, these insiders, they're even coming out and saying the same things that we're saying. like that the individual, the movie director that the apostles introduced us to, you know, and gave us, you know, gave us the segue into the video. But what's his name?
Alex Jones.
Aaron Russo. Aaron Russo, when he had the interview with Alex Jones, and he was locked in with those. He was locked in with the elite bankers, man. And what were they saying? That they want to have the whole world chipped. It didn't happen right away. It gradually started happening over time, where this technology became more and more familiar. It became been put more and more in the forefront. And this is the same thing before he even said something that the apostles and the elders were already talking about, man. Okay? So it's not, hey, let's get, real quick, then we get that, Romans. Let's get, spiritually discerned. What was that? 1 Corinthians 2 or the 2 Corinthians 2?
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High.
Right.
For they are foolishness unto
him. And the natural man essentially is the sensual man, the fleshly man, who's thinking after the flesh. Okay? That's what the natural man is. Go ahead.
It says, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can...
Read that again.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him.
Right, and the things that are of the Most High, as we've been speaking on, are the prophecies. All right? The MOTB. Okay? The wars and the rumors of wars. When you're seeing Russia and Ukraine going back and forth. Okay? When you're seeing America going over to Venezuela, I say that weird. Venezuela. When they're going over there, and they're starting so-called starting trouble with Venezuela because of drug trafficking, when really it's about resources. You're starting trouble. You're starting wars. You're stirring up strife. These things, the natural man can't receive this as prophecy. They just see it as these are just events that's going on with no spiritual inclination. This is just the world. This thing's happening. But no, these are things that are written up in the Bible. So this is why the natural man, you can't comprehend it. I like to comprehend it. Okay?
Neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned.
Right. Neither can they know them because they are spiritually discerned. This is why we speak on, like with the elders and apostles, we believe that these are the true men because the Spirit hit them years ago before you seen the MOTB happening, before you seen a strife between the nations happening. They've been speaking on this. And that was the Spirit that expressed that, and it came out through the scriptures. So this is why we follow these men. Okay? This is why we have to get into these prophecies as well as they got into them.
We'll grab Jeremiah 28:8 real quick. Because it's like I told somebody, I forget exactly who I was talking to yesterday, but everything happens in its time. Matter of fact, it was my son. I forgot exactly what he said, but I'm like, everything happened in its time. You know? Can you grab 2nd Esdras 4:37? Everything happening in its time. It's just a shit. You can grab. Can you grab Ecclesiastes 3 real quick? Which one first? Ecclesiastes 3. Because time is a huge factor, man. All right? Because I sit back and I look at like, the Lord is really doing this thing, you know? Like the brother was saying, the apostle spoke about these things years ago, all right? Some people listen, some people listening now, but regardless of all of that, Yahweh Shem Yahushai's will is going to be done. His word doesn't go out void, as it says in Isaiah, I believe, 55, okay? As his word is to ours, as the heavens to the earth, his word is higher than ours. His will is higher than ours. His understanding, all of that is above us. So we're just servants, ministers, and puppets in this thing. All right? You got that?
Yep. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, And a time to every purpose under the heaven.
To everything there is a season. And what the second part said?
And a time to every purpose.
And a time to every purpose under the heavens and earth.
Just under the heaven?
Under the heavens, man. All right, so when it comes to prophecy, right, all of that is according to his time. Can you grab that right now? That second Esdras?
This is second Ezra chapter 4, verse 37. It says, by measure hath he measured the time, and by number hath he numbered the time. And he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled.
He does not move nor stir them. We looked up stir this past week. All right, meaning to awaken, arouse, or provoke. So he doesn't do anything until this is done, and then this is done, and then that is done. You don't sit there, go to a movie, and that's an hour and a half movie, and then it starts out, you know, you see who the hero is, and then he kills the villain. Just like, no, there's a series of events that lead up to the climax and the apex, and then it goes down to boom. Oh, okay, man, that was a good movie, man. All right, so that's where we at now. We're in the Lord's movie. All right, and all of these prophecies is written out by said measures, by time, and they're going to happen on a time that they're supposed to happen. Everybody's looking around, trying to find out, trying to understand what's going on. The answer been there the whole time, because the Lord sent his prophets out to give them the answer. Everybody don't understand the answer. Everybody won't understand the answer. And guess what else? Everybody don't care to understand the answer. All right? Even as they, I believe they was in 1 Corinthians, you know, about things being spiritually discerned in the natural man and the spiritual man. Well, most men on this earth think natural, especially in the society of Americans, because this is what was taught, to be natural, to be carnal, to do as thou wilt, to go against the Heavenly Father. All right, like it says, when they was at liberty, they loathed the law, meaning they hated it, they despised it, they rejected it, they didn't take it into consideration. So that's why judgment has to come upon this place. All right, that's why you see the different moves being made throughout the earth. You see, like he said, the Russia-Ukraine situation has been going on for years. You see uproars of the people over in France, all right? People out in LA over here, people in Chicago. You see the Lord stirring these different spirits up for crimes to happen, governments to make decisions, to get the people roused up, to back them into a corner, to make them. It's not like they just wake up. No, it's a series of events, man. Everything is measured out. And everything is going to happen in its time. All right? Going back 15 years ago, about 2010, the apostles and elders were speaking about the MOTP. They were speaking about it being the RFID C chip, you know, C hip, man. That this is what they want to put in on our bodies to ultimately control us. Okay? You didn't hear much about it then. Well, then you have what? You got the scoffers and the mockers, all right? The ones who wear fringes, who have a border of blue, but they're not teaching a prophecy. They're not teaching the people. They're not feeding the flock, man. All right? So they was scoffing and mocking about it's June, because at a point of time, I forget what year it was, but they had brought out the fact that they was gonna bring out the C hip in March, but it didn't happen. They didn't bring it out then. So when that month passed, all right, you had scoffers scoffing about it. The same happened in 2000, where they thought, you know, where it was said and thought that this thing was going to happen. But that's what we have to understand, that we are on the Lord's time, man. Okay, everything for a season and his purpose under heaven. We can't control the Lord. No matter how many prayers we put up, the Lord is still going to have things happen when he already set them to happen, man. Yatazak, can you grab Isaiah 46 and 10?
This is Isaiah chapter 46, verse 10. It says, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand.
The Lord's counsel is going to stand. Okay? We was going to wake up. We was going to go into sleep. Deuteronomy 28 was going to come to pass. We was going to go to a land we didn't know. We served guys we didn't know, and we wasn't going to have a king. Our king was going to go with us. We was going to be in slavery. We was going to be separated as a family. We were going to be going at it against each other. But in a place where it was said unto the people, ye are not my people, that's prophecy been fulfilled. All right? Prophecy been fulfilled. I think it was Apostle Ramla was just going into the lesson. I forget the title of it. But he was saying at a point in time, this truth was around, not at the magnitude that it's at now, but it was around. But it wasn't really time for it to come out, because it was during the 1950s, 1960s, which we know around that time you had the civil rights movement. All right, you had our people fighting for the right to be equal, to do things, to have freedom, be whatever, desegregation and all of that. All right, but it wasn't time for the truth to really hit like that, man. And like he said, hey, they had to really pull out them shovels and dig. They had to go into books, man. The Lord, we got the internet now. Which like he quoted Apostle Gabar, that does a heavy lifting, man, for getting this word out. But it all happened in its time. The Lord had the word come on the scene at the time he did. Okay. Prophecy being fulfilled with Abba Bivens, turning the people and the hearts back into the Lord. All right. And then the ones who received the word from there, having that little sanctuary over at One West, the word, things happening even within there for them to spread out. You had the discomfort who kind of took charge of it. You had ISUPK that went here, IUIC went here, Bubble Eye and them, all of these. Then you got Great Millstone, man, and their followers. That's just how the Lord had it happen. But everything in its time, man. All right, you got that?
Yeah. This Proverbs 29 verse 18 says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish."
Yeah, where there's no vision, the people perish, because prophecy, then the seers coming, you know, the seers and the prophets would go into the kings and let them know how to operate. All right? Hey, the Lord's not with that, or the Lord is with that, man. You know? And the kings mostly would adhere to the prophets. Now, as the downfall of our people started to happen, they started doing what they want. Hell, they threw Jeremiah in the pit, man. Because he was telling them to submit to Babylon. Now, how crazy does that sound? The Lord had brought us out of Egypt, had a chariot. We followed a chariot into the promised land. We done built temples. The Lord had intervened and fought for us. All right. Had David take down Goliath, all type of divine interventions. What do we look like submitting to heathen? All right. So they did what they wanted to do, and justice that happened. Because that was prophesied in Jeremiah, that the Lord was going to have Babylon take over that land, man. Y'all remember when we brought that out? I think it was Jeremiah 25.
Yep. This is Jeremiah chapter 25 and verse 10. It says, "Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle. And this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment.
Yeah, because what is it? He's all you're living your lifestyle. All right, you having a family, having children, having work, and taking all of that away, man. This whole land is going to be a desolate. Go ahead.
And an astonishment, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years.
There we go. All right, that had to happen. It was written, so it had to happen. It was prophesied, so it had to happen. Where there's no vision, what it said, the people mourn. Is that what the said in Proverbs? Proverbs 29 you had?
Oh,
Get it again, Baba Moshe. I'm not taking you. I just want to make sure.
I think I'm wrong anyway. I think it's perish.
You're wrong, Leonidas.
Yep, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and 29:18. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish.
Mm-hmm.
But he that keepeth the law, happy is he.
Yeah, but he that keepeth the law, happy is because you're fulfilling the will of the Lord, man. All right. So our people who not adhering to prophecy, respecting prophecy, okay, they're gonna perish. Because right now we're telling our people what all of what's going on in America is supposed to be happening. And guess what? It's the beginning of sorrows. It's the start of the movie. All right. This is like dang. What one of them, I can't think of one right now. Crazy as enough. Many movies I've seen and watched. In the movie start out and they show you the end of the movie, and then they say 36 hours earlier, or
like the Hateful
such days. There we go. Yeah,
Tarantino.
You know, it'll show you the end before you get there. Then it'll show you how you got there. Well, that's what the Lord does with His prophecies, man. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Is it more to that?
That was into that.
Okay, get that. What was it?
Jeremiah 28:8.
Yeah.
This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord that truly sent him.
Yeah, and we not in the time of peace. All right, we're not in the time of building this place up. We're not in a time of being even in rulership. We're coming into that time, but we in a time of what? Prophecy, in the sense of the downfall of this place. All right, of letting you know that America is Babylon, that it is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, that the Lord is on this way. The reasons why they starting to speak about chariots, aka UFOs, aka UAPs. It's not like they decided to just be honest. They don't have a choice. Anything that they can't hide, they start to control the narrative. Or at least try. Like, hey, one of the brothers had a title. He said, the Lord just playing with him. He got the chariots showing up. You know, and it's crazy. Through the Spirit, I thought the same thing before I had seen that title. I'm like, the Lord literally is just playing. He got you shooting a missile. They got the video shooting a missile. And then the chariot kind of just go a different way. Then you see other things kind of break off from it. And then it follow it. I mean, shit. Just off that video alone, I can't win.
Yeah.
If I can hit you with a missile, knock some of your parts off, and they magnetize back to you or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
It's over with.
I already lost. But the scriptures speak about that. It speak about what? The Lord showing up, like with a chariot so big as if he was on a mount, all right, and turning people into dust.
He said that he should be afraid and yet durst fight.
Well, he's gonna. Yeah, I mean, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
They pride. This is the American military that we're talking about. I forget the numbers when we was talking about was it the jets?
Oh,
The budget too. Everything when it
Yeah,
comes to
yeah.
military, America outdoes everybody, man. Because at the end of the day, they know that they're gonna have to have that battle in heaven, man. Where it says Satan and his angels fought against Michael and his angels. That wasn't speaking about wicked angels rebelling against the Heavenly Father in heaven and them being sent down to hell and having their own rulership and dominion. No, that was speaking about future prophecy, man, which is going to happen with them having their jets and their B-2 bombers, all right, and the chariots showing up, and it's going to be literally a war within the heavens, man, within these skies very much right here.
Romans chapter 9, verse 19. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will?
Yeah, who hath resisted his will? Because everything is going to be done. Everything is going to be done according to the will of the Heavenly Father, man. Okay? Hey, even in the sense of him telling us or saying in Psalms that he was going to correct us in front of the face of our enemies, roughly paraphrasing. Okay? That's the will of the Heavenly Father. It said they would have healed Babylon. Meaning ain't no coming back. Babylon started falling when they went into outer space. They decided to go up there, and that's when they started to fall. That's around the same time the truth came about. All right? Now, we had the like the brother, the elder brother Watazak, like be saying, we in the last seconds of the last days, man. Okay. Now we at the position where that son, we at the position where the son of perdition is being revealed. That cruel Lord, Isaiah 19, or I believe it's Isaiah 24, man. I.e., who we believe to be Trump. He's deporting, man, it's just, here it is. They open the gates to flood in the immigrants. Now, the new president come in, and now they like, we got to get all of them out of here. Everybody, yeah, that's right. Take our country back. And they got a different, man, the brother that sent the video. See, when it comes to our people committing the same crime as theirs, they just make it out to be so devilish, man. All right, I forget how it was worded, but it was like maniac, such and such, deletes, old couple, and then everybody going all crazy about this Charlie Kirk situation, and then when it mentions him, like the brother had sent the video, oh, he lost his faith. Well, this is them building that case on our nation. The people on these signs, man, because Jacob's trouble has to happen.
They gotta watch that mentioning that nigga, because there's a lot of shit that's attached to that.
When y'all get Jeremiah 30:7?
This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it.
What day? That day, that great tribulation, man. Okay, go ahead.
It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
Jacob's trouble, which the whole world will be affected. Oh, no, I got you.
It's like
it's okay. It's like it's even to the point where read that again.
God says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
Yep, Jacob. Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, the trouble of our people. Because at the end of the day, this is still punishment unto us. This is our punishment, our captivity. Just because we got jobs, we can go to work, we can pay taxes, we can buy cars, we can have a family. That doesn't mean that we ain't in captivity. Okay? There's no equal rights in here. Go ahead.
But he shall be saved out of it.
but he shall be saved out of it. Because even within the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Lord has a chosen. He has his elect. All right? Even all of our people won't be saved. So it definitely doesn't mean that heathens, other nations, are going to be saved. Okay? But this is Jacob's trouble, man, which everybody will be affected within it. Because that's what was being said. They going after the illegal immigrants, and they said, Judah sitting back like, this ain't our fight. You next. And sure enough, what's happening? He bringing in national troops in all of these crime-filled cities, basically in the hoods, man, where Jake is at. It ain't like they just got to crack down. No, they're just painting their picture right now. They got their paint, and they, got their strokes, and they going at it. All right? Making up, because I forget this chick name, man, but she was like, yeah, she said, you people, and she was blatant with it. I had to find a video. She was blatant with it, like, you people, yeah, this is why you people need to be locked up and this and that. And they're painting that picture, man. I thought we was trying to forget slavery. I thought we was getting rid of racism. I thought there was no more racism. But this is, once again, it's all prophecy. All right? Because it's all part of Jacob's trouble. It's all part of that great tribulation, that day like none other, man. But guess what? I say, guess what? They went after the so-called illegal immigrants, right? Now they're going after citizens, the so-called criminal citizens. Well, who you think is going to be next? The goody two-shoes, because they want to crack down this whole country, man.
Second Ezra, chapter 9 and 1. I want to get in verse 3 in particular, but I read from the beginning. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Measure thou the time diligently in itself. Can we get the definition for measure? All right. Diligent means constant. Okay. It ain't like you go and come out one weekend and then you go and do what you want for a couple weeks and then you come out and like, no, you got to constantly pay attention to the news. Constantly be looking up things because, even now, things are constantly happening, man. Going into the prophecies and those birth pains. All right, those contractions is starting to happen more and more, man. Okay?
Yep, when you get the etymology for measure, it says to exercise moderation, to deal out or divide up by measure.
Yeah, because it's like, a lot of times when certain things come about, brothers say, that don't mean, I remember this brother in particular, this was like years ago, man. I forget the incident that happened, but he was like, that don't mean start celebrating now, and this is going back like 7 years. But you gotta, what did it say?
It says to deal out or divide up by measure.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention to it by measure,
And how are you measuring? By the prophecies that are coming to pass. And that's why we're here to push prophecy into, we're on the watchtower to mention, because I want to read this scripture as well as another integral precept. Matthew 24, 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So Yahweh only knows the exact time, then like the date. So when you start naming like, in 2 years, we hasten in a day, and we're hoping for the end of this thing. But since we got our ear to the room, we can hear him coming close. Okay, we can hear the car pulling up. Like I always said when I was young and I stayed in the country, my pops had sound, and the dirt roads was a long road. So I can hear his music thumping from a ways away. So I didn't know he was outside or how close he was, but I could hear him coming. All right. So it's the same thing. We're on the watchtower and we see specific prophecies that are coming to pass. And that's why we're so hard on pushing the MOTV. All right. And I want this brother to get into Paladin, because that brother's into it a lot, and have him go over it because that's one of the signs that's supposed to come to pass that's integral, okay? And we're gonna get this as well. That we finish up over here, but I just want to get that because to show that we have to measure the times, but only the Father knows the exact time. But we measure the time by estimation, and we center or what you say how the police they'll circle and they'll encamp and then they'll isolate to get a direct area. They may not know exactly what house you in, but as they circle around, they'll say, "Oh, well, based off of the situation, and he was on foot or on car, he made it this far out." And they'll encamp and then they'll encircle until they get their pinpoint your location. And so that's what we're doing. We're doing that via prophecy. Oh, this prophecy happened. This is going on. All right. So going back into Second Ezra, I'll read that for you again. He answered me, Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me and said, "Measure thou the time diligently and in self. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made."
And as the brother said, in by division. So you had a time where the Cold War, they thought that could have popped off World War III. But now, understanding at the downfall of the dollar, because they want to switch over to digital currency, them constantly painting Jake out to look like the enemy and be the enemy, understanding with Jacob's trouble and them policing and bringing more surveillance throughout the states. That's happening. You got uproars of the people because people are not happy with governments and certain I forget, man, what was that, France? With the prime minister, they end up switching them out, and the first day they already starting riots and everything.
Yeah, France is at an article saying France is on fire. I actually that was the last thing I had up of the lesson I was going to do, but damn, I pulled it down. It must have been recent. France is on fire.
Yeah.
They had about 4 Asian leaders.
Yeah.
That either left office or got pushed out of office.
Yep.
Okay.
And you got chariot sightings. You got them getting there. Well, they being comfortable talking about the MOTP. Now it's out there. Now they're showing you what it can do. All right.
Yeah, they had a one. I don't know if it was like one of the not rich elite, but elite councils where they're a politician out there, politicians, because they were sitting in there, out of councils. Esau had their NATO union councils, and they was talking about chariots, man. Back to back. And the dude was saying, look, you know what I'm saying? It's to the point that we can't hide it anymore. We have to address these sightings that we're seeing, okay? And they're seeing so many of them that pretty much everybody's seeing them.
Yeah.
Because we're getting close to the end of this thing, and once we'll get into Second Ezra, the 9th chapter is going to tell you the end is manifest.
Yeah.
All right. As a beginning have plain signs and wonders, so is the ending. Okay. And I'm roughly paraphrasing that, but it's in the very same chapter. Okay. So in that word, I also want to make a kind of pull back into verse 1 of Second Ezra 9:1. It says, "Measure the time diligently." Okay. And that diligently, when you go into that word, it means constant in effort to accomplish what is undertaken. Okay, so we're measuring. We're not just waiting on the biggest news. We're constantly everything we see that's congruent to the end of this thing. We're bringing it out. All right, we're not saying, "Oh, this is it. Oh, this is it. Oh no, this is it." No, we're not just jumping the gun. We're gonna say this is leading up to this. The 2020, ain't nobody say, "Oh, this is it. This is the thing." No, it's like, no, this is gonna lead up to that. Then they pump it out QR codes. It's gonna lead up to that.
Yeah.
All right, 5G, the laws that Biden's passed, the laws that Trump passed. Okay, the consolidation of making a one world government. Okay, via through transhumanism, trying to merge They went from merging genders. Now they're trying to merge man and machine. Okay, they're trying to merge religion. They have been trying to merge religion. They try to make the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit one. Okay, that was one of the attempts. They tried to cross gender, cross race, not cross gender, but cross race. Yahweh Shai and call, by they had to make him an idol. Basically, not make him an idol, but make his word, his Bible, represent Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, and made him white. All right, but the scriptures cut all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so Esau has a hell of attempts. NATO and the EU, they're trying to consolidate all the worlds. All right, and ultimately they're going to use this MOTB to do that. All right.
That's another thing with the illegal immigrants. They had some of them wearing ankle monitors.
Yep. The whole illegal immigration is a thing of propaganda, but there's a benefit to it, and there's a like they said, never let a good catastrophe go to waste. So it's like a push and pull type of thing to keep you all balanced. Because in Muay Thai, that's what you do. You get them in the clinch, and sometimes you buck them, and sometimes you pull and drag. And the whole point is to never let you stay stable and comfortable in your balance so you can focus on what you need to do. Okay? And that's what they're doing. Through the horns, let's get that in Revelation, the horns that spake peaceably, okay? They use these tactics because one president, the so-called Democrats, because once you get into the left wing and the right wing, there's always been a left wing and a right wing. All right, we get into that. We always get into that. But within that left wing and right wing, what is the left wing really meant for? The so-called far left. They're meant for humanitarianism. All right, doing things for the people. All right, that's why when you go into old American democracy, those were the South, all right, where the people at that time were Edomite slave owners, and they were saying, we got our slaves, and we should eat off the slaves because that's what's for the people. And then the so-called Republicans was like, nah, and I'm going to say it straight up, those slaves need to be for the country. So we need to do things for the business of the country, because the so-called far right is for the business of the country, all right? And just like that guy that the brothers mentioned, he was always trying to bring these far right concepts. But the Lord is true. Truth could sound like both. That's why we sound like, if you ask us about politics, or we speak of politics, you don't know if we on Democrat side or the Republican side, because we on neither. We on the side of truth. Okay? Because sometimes you got to do things for the people, but there's also need to be order. Okay? When the person speaks on reparations, and they're going to speak on reparations or bankrupt the country, but how about this? You stop sending billions out to those Ashkenazis, all right, to Amalek, off in our country. Stop sending billions to them, all right, and stop sending billions to those rich elite, okay? Instead of stop pumping all that money, that welfare, to Esau, because y'all like to say Jake is jobless. Stop pumping all that welfare to Esau and just consolidate it and give Jake free schooling, Jake free housing, all right? And you letting these heathen or these foreigners come in, living off having $2,000 in food stamps, housing grants,
even like you said, sending out the money, pumping money to Ukraine.
Yeah, pumping money to Ukraine.
They're not even part of NATO. They like, that's the whole point of Russia stepping in, because they told you don't go over there trying to add them to y'all shit, and y'all did that anyway.
And it sounds good when you hear it, but when you really go into the details of the devil, okay, he's sending Elon Musk said that they're sending millions of dollars. You know, we mention this. I mention this every week, man. You know, transgender parades and parties.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars in Brazil. Millions of dollars sending millions of dollars worth of condoms to Canada. Hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars to put out pipes for drug users. No, just lock their ass up. You got the private prisons. Just go and lock them up. Okay? Use those private prisons as rehabilitation centers for drug addicts.
Yeah.
Okay, how about that? But no, you want to keep the world at disarray because that's how capitalism works. You let people feel they're involved through voting, feel involved through being able to get on the TV and say their opinions and saying what they think should happen, and have these podcasters sit down and argue with people and let them walk up to the mic. All right, y'all could do that fucking every day, but there's not a law that's going to be passed after that bullshit. But it makes you feel like your voice is being heard, but nothing's happening. Because in order to overthrow capitalism, on a carnal note, the people have to come together as a union. All right, and that's why a union was established, to fight against capitalism. All right, because it's just like workers. We all work for a company or a factory, and one single CEO is saying, no, I don't want to pay y'all this much. I want to pay y'all $10 an hour. We can't live off that. And they'll say, we'll make up an excuse. Well, you should have gotten education. Well, whatever BS reason Esau always like to use, right? But the union is a consolidation of the whole working class of that specific factory to say, nah, we're not going to work unless you pay us this. And it forces that one individual. But if you can hire a manager, a supervisor, a foreman, and then you pay this one person, you let this person, because they'll agree with your ideals, I'll rise him up to the ranks and let him be a overlord amongst these other people. And then if one person acts out, I can fire him and hire another person. Yeah. But you can't fire everybody. Exactly. That's why, because Esau has like hella power. He could just say, man, I don't give a damn, y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all gonna take it and leave it. All right, but the people could just jump up and uproar. But Esau has things that the gun violence, because this is not, all this shit is not by chance. That stabbing, the woman on the train, that shit's fake, or allegedly. Somebody jumps over you and hits you in your neck and walk off, right? Walk off, okay? And he has constant blood dripping from his arm, but she don't have no blood gushing out from her neck. All right, but when she rolled over on her seat, it's blood splatter. She must have been on her menstrual cycle. But then, as she got hit in her arteries, all right, anybody, if you go and take CPR, all right, one main sign of somebody's choking is that they're going to go for the problem at hand. Yeah. All right. Even when people are, if you know jujitsu and you jump on a random nigga neck and you just and grab on that thing, the first thing he's going to do is lock on the problem. This shit is suffocating me. He's not going to try to do what jujitsu people know to do, fight the hands, turn towards him and all that shit. He's going to, so when that woman got stabbed in the neck, she rolls over, she got enough time to reach up and have her hand on her seat. No, nigga, you would have been like this, trying to, you know what I'm saying, dropping down, trying to address the issue, okay? But no, she got time to do that, and then when she goes down, blood just squirts out, and it's like somebody spilled a cup of beet juice. Yes, all right, and when you go, let's see how many gallons of blood is within a human being, because that nigga went after an artery, hypothetically. Okay.
It says the average adult human body contains about 1.2 to 1.5 gallons of blood.
1.2 to 1.5 gallons of blood, man. All right, that's a Hawaiian punch jug and a half, man. Or a Hawaiian punch jug, that shit would have been all over the place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It would have constantly been pouring because that was like a cup. That shit should have kept on just oozing out. But why is all this happening? Then you have, like the brother mentioned, Jake in Chicago backing up into stores, looting stores. At the same time, Trump is requesting for military presence which is against constitutional law. I forget the law, but there's a law that was enacted to allow the citizens, so pretty much so, because the president could just say, fuck all that voting. Send the military in. I ain't fuck all that voting. I ain't doing nothing. I'm the president forever. He could just do that, and the military could get behind him and get with it, or he could just send it out indirectly. That's illegal for you to put a military presence in a country where there's no war, no threat. Okay, not in the country, but in your own city and state. And he ain't, and guess what? He's doing it without Congress. That's another illegal thing. Okay, but why is all this happening? Okay.
It says the main law that restricts a U.S. president from using the military for domestic law enforcement on citizens is the Posse.
Yeah, the Posse Comitatus. Pastor Tahar was going. Pastor Tahar was going over that. Because he was going over how people say that's my posse, that's my clique. That's what the word reverts back to, is a Posse Comitatus Act. Okay.
It says passed in 1878, the law generally prohibits federal armed forces from participating in civilian law enforcement activities like making arrests or conducting searches.
Yeah. So this is happening because Esau at the bottom is so indoctrinated, and they inherently hate Jake. All right, that's in their spirit. So it don't take much to trigger them. All right, just like niggas like chicken. They don't take much to trigger them. Okay, to pick up a chicken wing, or to dance, or to just be a Jake, man. All right, it don't take, just like that. We're naturally adherent to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So when you set up a church, we're gonna naturally run to that place in search of the Most High. And you can lie and throw us the hell off, or create a deity, because we're naturally people that follow a higher power. So you can lie and make us follow it. Okay, so they'll get out there and have Jake doing all this stuff, and then when you start getting up and start trying to argue against it, then they use their propaganda. All right, dude stabbing dude. There's another Jake that they have an article about a Jake that killed 2 elderly women, an elderly couple. Okay, but the thing is, and then you got the thing that brother was mentioning with the podcaster, and he got so-called shot. We don't know what's happening. We don't know if it's CGI. We don't know if it's straightforward or it came from the side. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what happened. That guy could have been acting. The dude's already off somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Or all kind of stuff. But the truth will come out. But what it's doing is what's the perennial thing? Attack on gun laws. All right? But y'all niggas are trying to get rid of critical race theory. You're trying to say the time in the past. No. You go into time. Why did they set up? Let's go and research that. Why was the Americans originally given the right to bear arms? All right, and I say it, and then we just bring the proof out. So it was, you got it. Go ahead.
It says the right to bear arms in the U.S. was enshrined in the Second Amendment to the Constitution. In 1791 as part of the Bill of Rights. The primary reasons for this right stem, it gives the reasons. It says, number one, self-defense and personal security. It said the founding fathers believe individuals should have the means to protect themselves, their families, and their property. Protection against tyranny.
Protection against tyranny. Okay? Protection against tyranny. Can someone look up, I forget who, but I don't know if it's Adolf Hitler, but the first thing they do when they want to take your ass down is take your weapons away. And a lot of you niggas, because what they did was they took away the working class as the backbone of America and replaced it with college students. And guess what? Another thing, they sent all the niggas that's willing to not walk around, but the ones that'll fight for their country, i.e. at home, all right? Talking about like that dude, that Jake, this is my property. I don't give a damn about her. You know what I'm saying? This statue. And he was all on their ass. I'm talking about police officers, man. Like, I'll lay all y'all ass down, man. Because he understood the rights of the land. Okay? And we get that. You can finish that up. I'm gonna digress. That's it to that?
That's basically, yeah, it got a couple more reasons. But
let's get that word tyranny. But what country, you got that? Did y'all find out the country? Huh?
What, the country for what?
That disarm armed people to take them over. You know?
Yeah, it says examples of a dictator disarming the population is not I don't know if we can say that. Germany.
Say it backwards.
Yeah.
You can say that. That ain't.
Okay.
Because it ain't about bad people. They're trying to suppress information. So you can't say the CC name, nigga. You can't say what the 2020 is because it's a blatant lie that's going on right now. So you can't really speak out on it. So they suppress it and try to, and that's the beginning of the famine of the word. That's not the famine of the word, but we're getting close to it. Yeah. Because that situation leads up to that. Okay?
It says the Nazi regime tightened gun control laws in the 1930s, particularly targeting Jews and political opponents to prevent resistance as they consolidated power. And it gives a couple more examples of like dictators, like that's the first thing they do, they disarm the population.
They disarm the population. That's why motherfuckers be having to get pitchforks and rocks. And everybody be like, oh, they're so primitive. No, they disarmed them, man. Okay? And Esau like to be all fucking racist and shit. Oh, they're so primitive, not knowing that they were disarmed. But because your ass could get hot Cheetos in the internet, you think that you're better than the people, not knowing that your ass will be in the same state, okay? But you're not a threat to them because your pineal gland is calcified, so you don't got enough ability to rise up. These people eating raw foods, man, they totally alert. Okay?
Well, I say like that video you sent, the first step to, to keeping the citizens in check is, going after their diet and their fitness, man.
Yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers, because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, what if this was like overseas where they didn't have guns? They just bring in the shields and all and batons and shit. Y'all motherfuckers still be too tired. We all be too there. Most of us would be too fucking tired to fight anyway.
You got too much estrogen in your system to want to fight.
Yeah.
Okay? You too pussy because you've been put out. It's been put out on planet Earth that you shouldn't be violent. Watching these Disney movies and love conquers. Love of the Lord conquers all. All right?
Love Island and shit.
Yeah. There's a happy ending. Okay? No, man. Like Esau said, show mercy to the wicked, he will not learn righteousness. So he's not going to stop. Come out there open arm. Maybe we love each other. He's going to sit there and go, stab you, going to hug your ass.
Yeah.
What you doing? Sorry, bro.
Sorry, right. Scorpion mentality, man. The scorpion and the frog mentality, He can't help but to stab you in the back. Hey, can a leopard change his spots,
Yep.
I got that tyranny if you want it.
Yep.
I got the definition for tyranny in the Etim Online. It says the government of a tyrant, cruel or unjust case of power.
Yeah, so and that's unjust what Donald Trump is doing. You cannot pass Congress and nobody's batting an eye at it. And guess what? The right wing and the left wing is on the same shit. So these citizens out here acting like one side is dumber than the other. Kamala Harris got into office with got into the run of presidency without a vote. All right, so that's not right. But niggas, they do that to divide people, to keep your ass separate. They got the left and the right. All right, they got race, they got gender wars, there's class wars. That's why we don't sit there and say that there is this thing's going to be a big-ass race war. There's going to be race wars going on, all right? But then there's going to be class wars. There's going to be location wars, okay? Economic wars, resources, all right?
I'll get this real quick. Sean says, tyrant says absolute ruler, especially one without legal right, cruel, oppressive ruler, lord, master, monarch, or despot.
Well, he has legal right to be a ruler. So that's technically, because we don't want to, well, no. We're talking about a person using their rulership unjustly, all right? Because he was voted in. So he didn't illegally get that rulership. You know what I'm saying? It's just a cool buzzword. It sounds good, but in all actuality, we can't lie. Trump he didn't get his rulership illegally. All right, he got it by the votes of these dumbasses. You know, and he might have gotten it, you know, by illegalities. You know, but it wasn't through him.
That's what the Democrats be saying. He rigged the voting.
And he said they rigged the voting.
Right.
Right. All the voting is technically rigged. It's just that there is no real. There's just a cult of personality. Okay, that's all these presidents are. A cult of personality. Can we get that real quick? Now people like to jump up and these niggas, not our people too, man. Okay, so it's like all the people that got this skin color that's bitching about that podcaster by the acronyms of CC that got so-called off. All the people that got the skin color that are in defense of him, you know what I'm saying? Which I don't care either way, because it make me no never mind. You know what I'm saying? But the point is that all the niggas that's like this are the people that got money, are actors and celebrities and shit like that. Okay.
It says a cult of personality is the manipulation of public perception to create an idolized, even godlike image of a leader, often a national figure, through propaganda and mass media to inspire worshipful devotion and maintain power.
Yeah. So it's just a person that you never get to settle. It reminds me, I went fishing with my people, man, and we went over on one side of the lake, we're gonna catch a fish, and he'll say, yeah, first before we go, oh, this side would be great because the east and the sun sets, that's one side of the coin. And then we go over there, we ain't catching no fish. Oh, damn, I see the water pushing that way. It's the water. And then you go over there, and it makes you feel like, oh, okay, let me go over here. Okay, let me go over here. Okay, but at the end of the day, you ain't catching no fucking fish. You dig? So this is what they're doing. They'll set one president up, and then he'll open the floodgates and let all the immigrants in, and knowing that that's going to affect the jobs, all right? But at the same time, you know, the rent is going up, and so you really can't afford the jobs because the people that are already working, that are already in America, that have been Americanized to where they're total consumers, they don't know how to work together, all right? So they're not willing to stay 3 or 4 families in one house to live, all right? So you pump in a bunch of people that's willing to do that, all right? And they take all the low-level jobs, and then you get and everybody's like, oh, there's no money, and then the other guy coming at because there ain't no jobs for y'all. Y'all can't get no job. No, damn well y'all don't want to work at no damn McDonald's. Y'all don't want to fucking be no house cleaners at no hotels. Okay? Y'all out here trying to get degrees. That ain't the job there, but they mention that because it's all about lies. You know, it says the devil, he abodes not in the truth. You know, let's get that real quick. You know, he abodes not in the truth, man. Right?
This St. John chapter 8, verse 44. It says, you of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth.
Yeah. So they'll sit there and tell you they don't care. They don't care if you live or die, you poor or nothing like that. They're just doing enough that the people don't start grabbing pitchforks and walking up to D.C. niggas need to really be concerned with that. All right, to put a military presence in D.C., which is not a part of America technically. It's the District of Columbia. Okay, that's a it's almost like an embassy or a centralized place. You know, I haven't went that deep into it, but I know the little I know of it is that it's not attached to the United States technically. Okay, it's a District of Columbia. That's why they call it Washington D.C. That's what D.C. stands for. Okay, so they got the military there. So you can't your ass get mad and say, I'm tired of shit. Everybody say I'm tired of shit. You start walking up to DC, nigga, you gonna meet troops. They're already ready. Yep. They locked in, they patrol the streets, they got familiar with the city. So your ass can't go and hide on 6th Ave Boulevard, MLK Boulevard, and try to do guerrilla warfare. They already through all the towns. Alright? And they already worked on them on their sweeps and searches through they've been training for that shit too, man. It was years ago that they was pushing that out, showing military officers and police officers how to do inner city invasions. Then they're doing predictive programming through the movie Civil War. What's the other movie with with the Teslas and all that?
Oh, Leave the World Behind.
Yeah, Leave the World Behind. So they're hitting you with predictive programming, getting the people. They massaging your kidneys, most sides of your mind, yeah. with getting you prepared.
Hey, even within that title, Leaving the World Behind, it's like what used to be ain't no more. You know what I'm saying? They leading into something different, something new, man. A NWO.
Yep, that's ultimately what it's all leading to. But they gotta encamp you. They gotta keep circling in every area. Guns, jobs, civil unrest, judgment. All right. Again, you got stabbing on the subway. You can't even go out and talk and say and speak your mind. Now they're gonna say, hey, you can't say this, you can't say that over the internet. You can Call of Duty lobby used to be the release, man. Get up in that motherfucker, F you, N-word, N-bomb, in this, that. You know? Yeah. Now you can't say nothing on that motherfucker. You go ahead, fella.
No, I had got a headline on my phone not too long ago. It said, Elon Musk delivers ominous message. Violence is coming. You either fight back or you die.
Yeah. So now he's agitating. He's stirring the pot.
Why do he get to say shit like that?
You know,
like, damn.
Average nigga say that he's a domestic terrorist. Okay, but the thing is that they're Jacob is Sunday, man. Bud then beat Canelo,
man.
You know, like Jake got waking up to a nice happy day. I got to stir your ass back up, man.
Right.
I'm gonna distract you, agitate you. That's like torture, man. Okay, what's over there? Punch you, boom. Turn, he punch you, boom. You know. Give you see like it's like being in the desert, man. You fucking starving, and they see a nigga see that oasis, run to the oasis, and it's fake. Going crazy, man. You know, this system is meant for your ends to never meet, and them to continue to promise it. Okay, and the only way your ends can meet is if you be a complete demon and selfish. Okay,
sell your soul.
Yeah. Jake don't want to eat steel cut oats. You know what I'm saying? Live off steel cut oats for breakfast. They want to eat 3-stack pancakes, bacon. So I can't do that unless I go to school. I can't do that. And then if I do that with 4 families in my household, then everybody gonna call me a bum. So you got all kind of elements that's keeping you at a low level. That's why I say they ain't worried about you niggas, man. They ain't worried. I mean niggas, I'm talking about all you racists, man. They ain't worried about y'all because y'all caught in this rat race. Y'all in the hamster wheel. Y'all ain't on ground, you know? Because you may be fast as hell on that hamster wheel, hitting 80 on that motherfucker. But you ain't getting no fucking where. They worry about people that's actually you can walk, but you walking closer and closer to me. Oh, now I gotta get rid of him. We don't want all these niggas off this hamster wheel. We don't need somebody yelling, get off the damn hamster wheel, man.
Yeah.
You're powering this system up.
Exactly, bro.
You know?
You moving the gears that keep the system going, man.
Yep.
And that's what they're, like the brother said, they're hitting you on all these different sides. They're hitting you with certain crimes, certain judgments, job loss, finances, and you like, I gotta make more money so I can make ends meet. I gotta make more money to secure my family, to make my house more safe, whatever the case is. You know, and it's just all leading up until here's the solution. Let's get rid of these people because let's get rid of the immigrants. They're doing all these crimes, these type of people, the criminals, and then 15-minute cities. What you think? You think it's gonna be mass crime if they was able to really complete, the 15-minute cities? They don't no. All of the criminals would be done away with. However, whichever way they seem fit.
That's why Jake, I'm gonna say it straight out, man. Jake shouldn't be getting no. And I'm a person that did it, so I'm not sitting here being a hypocrite because I didn't, the Lord, that was my lot, all right? Because the Lord killed and make a lot for kids and things like that. So He gave us families and kids and stuff like that. But in all logic of stoicism, a man Lord would be way more efficient if he was on his own, because here it is, men of Lord can all stay together in one house and don't have a problem. Dude, you can ask somebody next door, them niggas gay. Niggas, we wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jake ain't gonna be bothered by all that and also what society's perception and all that. It's the women. You know what I'm saying? Like, the women is, but why is it the women? Because they care about the world. Okay?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's a woman's gonna be like that. That's not wrong for a woman to be like that, because the man is supposed to be, focused on the Lord, and the woman's supposed to be focused on the man. So she's gonna be thinking about dates, affection, raising the kids. She may believe in the Lord and have, she'll follow certain things within that dignity, keeping her head covered, being modest, not messing with other men and all that. But she ain't like, oh, we gotta get the hell up out of here. We gotta get the hell. No, hell no, I ain't gonna. She ain't gonna we need to do all. She's not gonna hunker down spiritually like that. She's gonna think about family and building. That's in her DNA. It's not in her spirit to prophesy and want to get the hell up out of here. And that's why women shouldn't be prophets. They're prophetess. They're helpmeets to prophets. Okay, So anybody got something else? We can get back in a second. Ezra's fine.
Oh, okay.
But you could, whatever y'all got, y'all can pull it out.
Okay, 1 John chapter 2, verse 16 says, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever."
Yeah, he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. All right, because you're going to have to put off the world. The Lord said, let's get that. Put off the mortal clothing, man. Okay, and put on the immortal, not immortal clothing. It's talking about these bodies and putting on the new bodies, but we're doing it spiritually. Okay, because the new bodies ain't gonna be subject to stupidity either, emotional irregulation and all that shit. All right, we're gonna have the spirit of an angel with the flesh of man. We're gonna be able to feel like, we're gonna be able to eat food and taste the savors of fish.
Extraterrestrial.
Yeah, extraterrestrial. Okay,
you got the best of both worlds. You got the celestial body, the celestial world, and the terrestrial world, man.
Yeah, and because terrestrial reminds me of the word Tesla, which goes back to energy, man. So. And then Esau's trying to do it on the left hand. He's trying to make you extra to roboto. He's trying to merge you with man and machine. The Lord's trying to merge you with yourself, really trying to hone you within yourself and give you the body to enjoy the perfection of yourself. And that's a beautiful thing. All right, not live forever till you fucking finally figure it out. You know? No, we're gonna be perfect rulers. All right, you ain't gotta worry about us like misjudging shit. Somebody could have stole from you or hurt somebody in your family and come up with a good ass lie to make it sound like you did it, and we'll be like, nah, you did that shit, man. You ain't gonna need $10,000 or $5,000 to get a lawyer to come to court before us. You could just come and speak and plead your case, man. You got how much money you got? Like what? I didn't know I needed money to get justice. In this society, you need money to get justice.
Exactly.
And they act like they better than the Most High, man. But you need money for justice here. You need money for health. You need all that. All you need is prayer to get all that from the Lord, man. But y'all want to trust in man. Y'all dummies, man. Okay?
And, I just want to grab a definition, because when you look up justice, it goes back to just, which says morally upright or righteousness in the eyes of the Most High. You know, just, righteous, sincere, upright, righteous, in accordance with law. So, and that's what happens within this place. There is no law. All right? There is.
Even though there's hella laws.
Yeah, there's hella laws with no law to keep them. You know? They can sit here and break them and use them whenever the hell they want. Like you were speaking about the National Guard. You know, you speak about the National Guard and they ain't supposed to be doing this unless this and that, and they get to just do it.
But technically they can, because it's the National Guard and it's not the actual military. But them niggas could get activated just like that. You know? I know niggas in the National Guard. They can get activated just like that.
They can get active.
You know what I'm saying? They could officially become a military nigga. You're in the military. Boom. You know? They're doing the same thing. They're just, on paper, they're labeled. So technically, you can't do it. That's how all his businesses are. Okay? The wiles of the devil. It's all confusion and wickedness in this place, man.
Because when you said the word disarray, I looked it up and it said reverse of order. So basically having things out of order, man.
Order Abkeo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You still want that second address, the mortal clothing?
No.
Okay. You want this?
I think the brothers have something, and then we'll get back to second address. Y'all have something?
Yeah, I did. This is the book of Psalms 34, verse 12. It says, "What man is he that desireth life and loveth many days that he may see good?" You know, and I brought that out because, like the brother was saying, was concerning justice. In this place, there is no justice, but in the kingdom of heaven, when actually the laws are followed, it's going to be straight harmony. There's no harmony. There's no goodness here, especially for people who follow the Lord, man, or who deem to follow the Lord. You know, you can break rules at any point in time where it says the Lord, his word don't change. He don't break no rules. Everything that he said is established forever. He said.
Like I said, it's like here you commit a crime. And it's like, if you do this, this is the first offense. This is the second offense. This is the third. This is the fourth. It's like, commit a crime, this is what happens, man. You know? Now, mercy does come with judgment. All right, hey, it's the first time, I'm going to just drop it down to the misdemeanor or whatever, you know.
We'll let you wipe you and your whole family out. You know what I'm saying? Like the Babylonian garment, just wipe you and your family out, bro.
Yeah.
Get rid of the problem. Right? Something's mold, you just cut it clean out.
Yeah.
And if it's too moldy, you just get it up and throw it away.
You're leaving nothing to contaminate anything else, man.
Yeah, just getting straight to the fucking point. Oh my God, I can't really believe you threw away that apple. That apple's rotten, man. It's like make the rest of everything else rotten.
I was thinking of marriage. You have marriage, and the woman can commit infidelity. You know, and she just not, attracted to her husband anymore or whatever, and they end up getting divorced, and then she get half of his shit.
Yeah.
Like, that don't even make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But in this place, it does, man.
The scripture said a woman leaves with nothing, and it said, well, what about what? She got to live on the street where she shouldn't leave her fucking husband.
She shouldn't have committed adultery.
Or she shouldn't leave her husband.
Yeah.
she wouldn't commit adultery, because if you do, you would be left and have to fend for yourself, and you leave with nothing.
Exactly. Yep.
Because you are a servant unto your husband. When a man get it for wife, you get it for possession, right? So you're a servant under contract, and it says, even with slaves, if you whatever you went in there with, that's what you leave with. So if you came there by yourself, that's what you leave with. You know what I'm saying? You ain't coming here with no kids. That's what you're gonna leave with. You know what I'm saying? The kids are for me. You know?
Yep.
And that's like a whole clusterfuck. I'm gonna take that, because a man naturally going to that's his what's that, progeny, you know, or his offspring. Okay, so he's gonna naturally have that's what he lives for, is to keep his legacy going.
Exactly.
So he's gonna be spiritually manipulated by that woman being allowed to take the kids, and the woman is so evil. You know what I'm saying? And so she's gonna want to use the kids to survive. All right. And they're doing a bang up job. There's even women coming out now yelling at their own mothers. Y'all fucked us up, man. You know? And that even though she's the only woman I've seen to say that, she is not the only woman that I've seen to be fucked up. Yeah. That is 90% of these women that are raising their kids to be fucked up, man. Yeah. Really, all of them are doing it. Even if they're trying to do it right, they don't understand, because they're living for this world, man. Mm-hmm. Okay?
This is, you want to start back at the top in the 2nd Ezra 9?
Yeah, but
2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world,
that's what I wanted, man. Because niggas ain't gonna get it. Fuck them niggas, they ain't gonna get it. But we speaking of what it says, worry about those who be like thee, man. All right, so we out here. When we're teaching on these, we're trying to teach to those who out there behind the camera taking notes, that's sending up their prayers. You know, fuck them niggas. I could just say fuck y'all niggas. The Lord gonna kill y'all, bring out a precept and move along, because you're gonna die anyway. You don't need no a fucking edification to that. All right. Now we'll bring it out if it's edifying to the flock. All right. Now we'll bring it out to be a man of the Lord, to let you niggas know that thus says the Lord. Okay. But at this point, man, fuck you niggas, man. You niggas ain't shit. Like I was watching an old video of Oprah, and they had a white Edomite got up and said, I don't mind black people, but I don't like niggas. And I was like, yeah, I feel it. I feel them. You know?
The same way.
I'm the same way. With you, brother. You know? A nigga ain't shit, man. They full of hot Takis, Hennessy, and energy drinks, man. You know? Black and Miles. Niggas went from Cool Filter Kings and Newports to Black and Miles. You know?
I ain't never seen no white person smoke a Black and Miles, bro.
Then niggas smoking that bit, hitting a pack, packing that shit down to fucking destroy themselves harder.
Cause they say like a Black and Miles is like 10 cigarettes, right?
Yeah. Per black.
That's why they call it Black and Miles. Like,
Niggas made Pepsi Pop.
Yo,
that's crazy.
And what the scriptures say, our people are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge, man. So fuck them niggas, man. You know, I'm not sitting here about trying to wake no nigga up. All right? They turning these little kids into little nigglets.
Boy.
Walking around, gyrating.
Got little
yelling.
Kids getting tattoos, little kids getting extensions and weaves and so-ons. It's too fucking much. Lipstick and lip gloss. Man, let them fucking kids be kids.
Yeah, let a kid can't even do a backflip, man. Fuck. A kid can't even do a backflip nowadays.
We grew up doing that shit.
You know?
Even if we gotta throw a mattress down.
Yes. Figure that shit out, man. Go play, man.
Fuck.
came and have a community no more. Because of Esau's propaganda and his structure, man. When the wicked rule, the people mourn, man. But he gonna sit there and keep bird feeding your ass with bullshit. FRNs, man. Fiat notes. That ain't yours. It ain't yours, man. You can save millions of dollars. Kanye will tell you that. He went from a billionaire to a millionaire by a click of a button, man. That's impossible, bro.
Had the infinity stones to his money. Wow.
Hey, that's like me collecting gold bars from all my wars. And then the nigga say, I don't like you. And then my gold bars disappear. That's not how it works. You can't physically lift up my riches and my accomplishments. But Esau could do that because it was never yours to begin with. And he created a system such as the FRNs, and it moved on to a digital place to where they could just get on that motherfucker and go, Control Alt, you're broke.
Control Alt, you're broke.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying, like, if you had it in gold, had that shit sitting in your basement or whatever the fuck.
All you can say is like, man, I should have never gave that nigga that money. That's all you can say. I should never give him them bars of gold. I'm just not going to give him any more. Right? If you gave Kanye West $1 billion worth of gold bars, and he start getting on stage, start talking shit, you got to go in war and take it, or you just don't give him any more.
And if you go and take it, you committing a crime.
Yep. Now you're the violent one.
You know?
But they created a system.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Cause like, hey, shout out Chris Breeze, Tom Brady, shout out him, you know, cause what they do was starting to seem like it's becoming a thing. A lot of these entertainers is putting their money in their mother's name, not because they mama boys, but the women that they dealing with and dealing around can't touch their shit, you know? Hey, Brady wife tried it. Couldn't touch it because all of the millions he made, it ain't his, technically. But him and his people's got an understanding, you know? So it ain't no control alt, you broke if it comes to a court situation, man. And it's crazy you gotta do that. But, like the brother said, they set up a system, you know? So you gotta find loopholes within the system, go around the system and under, be willing to dig under it just to keep your shit safe, man. Want me to continue on in this?
Yeah, you can a little bit more.
Verse 4, it says, Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Yep. So we have to understand that, man. You know what I'm saying? And how do we the ones that's giving the understanding? You know? And we're doing it by doing what? Being on the watchtower. And then we're making it a reality by what? Presenting it on these highways and byways. Okay? So we're the give study. We're doing the legwork. All right? And that's why, you know, like I said, man, it ain't to just vaguely mention, generally mention. We got to get into these prophecies, man. We got to. But the spirit of the Lord is the spirit of prophecy. You know? And there's, like I said, uproars of the people. You know what I'm saying? It's going on everywhere, man. Jake, where, how? Who, what, when, where, why? Because the nigga just said. There's niggas that do just say it and it's not applicable. France. What's that? It starts with an N. Nepal. Okay? Wars and rumors of wars. Venezuela. Okay? Class wars. All right? The rich and the poor. Get a job. Y'all don't deserve to be paid that much. You know what I'm saying? Laws and perspectives. You know? Because Esau is doing all that to keep everybody separated, man.
Yep. And they, what was the situation? They just, it was like a month ago. I forget the protest that they was doing. I believe it was against the National Guard situation. But one of the ladies had quoted and said, as long as we stay divided, they'll do what they want. We have to come together. They can't, like the brother said earlier, you can't fire everybody at the company.
Yeah, they did that with the shipping docks.
Yep.
They tried to, because Esau will try you. You know what I'm saying? He tried them people at them shipping docks, man. He tried them workers. But they unionized on the ass, and they expect them people to unionize, man.
And then now you're starting to see more people doing that, going to the unionize, you know, because they did it. They had over in Philly, they had the garbage people doing the same shit. They like, y'all not paying us enough, and there was so much fucking trash on the side of the road. But this, like you said, Esau will try you. He gonna do what he can to get away. If you don't say nothing, he ain't gonna say nothing.
But is that trash still out there? They must have got paid. Meaning they could have did it the whole fucking time. Them people could do it the whole fucking time. Yep. It's just corporate greed. You can get paid $20 an hour at McDonald's. But niggas, Esau just want a nigga to lose so much that you're willing to say that. Y'all, why would you get paid that much to flip a burger to fucking live, man? Because there's an opportunities for everybody.
Yeah, because y'all got a company, y'all need workers, and I need money. Why we all can't just fucking win?
Yeah, but you'll sit there and act like niggas shouldn't be. You're assuming it's niggas, which is the bulk of these rednecks too. They're really more rednecks than niggas. It's just immigrants that's taking them spots. Because rednecks don't gotta do it; they just go down to the food stamp office. But my point is that they could sit there and you know, companies, the rich elites, they'll sit there and say, y'all niggas need to get education, do all that. Why do you need so much money to work at McDonald's? All right, a two-person household getting paid $15 an hour, you know, really $20 an hour should that sustains you in this society. But you should be able to make it off of 10. But what happens? You got the rich elite that buy all the houses up, all right, and then create project management systems and hike all the prices up.
Yeah.
All right, and then consolidate all the lower price places and let all the poor people flood in there. Less education, less food and resources creates violence. All right, and you know they're gonna do that. You're gonna patrol. You're gonna redline them. You're just creating a haven for prisoners, for criminals, so I can get free. So it's all a system. But Esau just hating niggas so much that you're just chucking your freedom away. Just chucking it away, man. Okay, you see one Jake with a gun. Oh man, just cancel gun laws. Fuck it, cancel. Yeah, arrest them. They're the problem. They're the problem. Then they get on breaking news. We about to stop selling guns. Oh hell no, it's too fucking late. It's enacted everywhere. You're through. You're through-ski wooski. You know?
It says, verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works.
And the manifest means to come to a reality. All right? Like the MOTB. All right, it's coming to reality. Paladin, 5G, okay? Streaming services, okay? You know, how does streaming services? Because at a point, you know, once these corner stores shut down, Sears already shut down, you got to get all your clothes off Amazon, i.e. Amazon, because you got to look. Now, these places are still here, so you'd be like, oh, no, I could just go to the store. But them places are dying, okay? Foot Locker ain't all that. You go to Foot Locker. I always go through Foot Locker in hopes that I'll find a pair of shoes that I might want. I might walk through there and see something that I like. Knowing damn well I'm going to have to go home, get on the internet, and go to sneakers and get hit over the head, triple the fucking price, double the price to get a pair of shoes that I like. You know, and even that, in that essence, they didn't program us to want shoes that we like. Let's get you some damn cowboy boots and call it a day. You know? I'm a work in progress, you know what I'm saying?
Because like you mentioned, Foot Locker, You know, and 'cause I remember I was going over this list. I periodically check it of stores that's closing down. You got like big name stores and big name restaurants that are closing. Just it ain't broadcasted all over the news, but when you hear about 400 stores closing, it might not seem like a lot because they got like 1,000 or something like that stores nationwide. But that's about a third of what they have, man. And that'll be just for that year. Well, what about next year? Because at the end of the day, most of these restaurants have to close down because, like the brother said, a lot of people are doing more online and digital transactions. Nobody's really sitting in and dining in anymore. They're getting their food and getting up out of there.
Yep. Getting it delivered to them.
Cause then you got all. That's why you getting a boatload of coupons and shit at your fucking doorstop, man.
And you won't go if you want to go to the amusement park. You know, can't go there with no cash.
Yep.
You know, who made that executive decision?
Hey, they added. I think they added New Hampshire. There's like 10 states who are on a decline of tourism, man. And Las Vegas is one of them. Which you know what I'm saying? You always hear about people going to Las Vegas, but people ain't got the money and they ain't got the time, man.
Yeah, we watched the fight on Netflix.
Yeah.
You know?
The fight of the century, as they called it. And they gave it out for free. As long as you got a subscription with Netflix, which the cheapest is like $15, opposed to everybody paying $70 for pay-per-view, man. Hell no. They go ahead, get comfortable. Nigga.
Like there was a lesson I did a while ago. The devil comes through pleasures, man. No, not pleasures. The devil comes through convenience. He deceives through convenience. Washing machines, convenience. Seed oils, convenience. Okay, like olive oil and seed oil. Oh, that is too expensive. It'll burn fat. Well, stop. You know, you can saute your shit, man. You know,
you don't have to fry it.
Yeah, vehicles, convenience. It's concrete, convenience. Because when you're walking through grass, you gotta hike your feet up. You know, like all this shit is convenience, but it has a servitude, road tax for these roads. You know, bottled water, convenience. You don't gotta go to the well. You can just go to the grocery store. The grocery store in itself it's like I said, the whole concept of a grocery store is that's you trapped. You're trapped. You're a slave. Because now you got to go to them for food. And then they put a law in the back end to trap your ass in.
Because you mentioned cars, bro. Here it is. You'll be spending $150 to $300 on a car note. You'll pay this fucking car off, but got to pay on the registration every year. Mm-hmm. It's like I own this motherfucker. Why I gotta register it?
And if you don't do that, they're gonna pull you over and hit you over your head with a ticket. Okay? Even Rome didn't do all that shit. But Amalek's ruling, man.
I pay my car off. Give me a permanent sticker. Bam. Make it a certain color. Give me, purple. They get royalty in my payments. Now you know I don't gotta pay, but convenience. Because you one of your favorite words as of late, mass production. You know what I'm saying? You pumping out all these cars, new iPhone, new this, new. Because if a motherfucker pay his car off and own it and he get that purple sticker, hypothetically, nigga, you ain't making no more money off that individual. Now that car can be a hand-me-down or whatever, and it's like, nigga, eventually you're going to have to stop mass producing.
And they make them cars to where they break.
That's it, yeah. Yep. You know? Shit is cheaply made now.
Yeah, just like they made aluminum engines and shit. You know, like I was talking to a cat and he was like, man, I got a Mustang. And he said, I got this specific model because this was the last one that had the steel bottom. And pretty much it can hold all that power when you're getting busy. You know what I'm saying? Jake could soup their car up, all the axle popping off, all kind of shit, man. All right? The prices all hiked up. Okay? Then they'll buy all of it. What's happened to the cars that ain't bought? They scrap them.
Man, that's what pissed me off. Same as the food that don't get fucking eaten in restaurants, man.
They don't give it to the poor. They scrap them. The Lord said you take 10% of your land and give it to the poor, man.
Yep.
You know?
Every fucking great, man.
Every grade. That's why he's the devil. You know? And that's why we out here letting you know the so-called white man is the devil. And we ain't gonna bite our tongue. And if anybody objects to it, you're a part of his system, man.
Yep.
Okay? You're undoubtedly a part of his system. How the hell you want to pay unjust taxes with hopes in somebody that would never change, man? Okay?
Yeah. So Jeremiah 23:14 says, I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem an horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen the hand of evildoers, that none doth return from his wickedness.
Yeah, well, that's them prophets, man. Them niggas like Nate, strengthen the hands of evildoers, telling people about that the MOTB ain't the RFID. You strengthen the hands of evildoers, man. Okay, you're telling people that Esau ain't he could be grafted in. Okay, you strengthen the hands of evildoers. Okay, you gotta tell this truth straight up, man. It's gonna get a point because y'all niggas scary, man. All right, we're not gonna tempt Satan and put ourselves in, but it's gonna be to a point that we gotta keep teaching what we're teaching, and it's gonna be illegal or it's gonna be a death threat. This is the same as Tobit when he was burying the Israelites, man. Okay, that was a death note that he was doing, man. But it was about like, what, you don't want me? You want to walk past my people? Okay, and just leave them out here? Nah, we're gonna properly deal with the dead, man. We're gonna bury them, give them some type of dignity, man. And that's what we're doing. All right, we're putting flesh on the dead bodies, man. Via through the scriptures. Okay, and Esau's gonna use his tactics to say, oh, y'all are this, y'all are that, and these people deserve wickedness or affliction. Okay, and then you got Nate and them like, oh, I don't do that. I just teach the good stuff. You know? Yeah. Bitch ass nigga. You know, you don't stand stiff for the Lord, man. That's why you want to stay on the laws. Once you get into these prophecies, then you're gonna start offending Esau, man.
Facts. Yep.
Okay?
Yeah, because at that time, you prophesying the downfall of his kingdom, man.
Yep.
You have to. There's no way around it when you're speaking in prophecy.
Yep.
Because that's part of it. Did you have something?
So Sirach chapter 4, verse 28, it says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
Yep, that's it, man. You know, really, I'm going to end it on that, man. Strive for the truth unto death, man. We strive for the truth unto death. And it's a hard thing. It's not easy to say, that's death, nigga. Okay? And strive means to fight. Okay? That's like you in a real fight. Somebody hits you, boom, and you just step back and start, like, getting busy. Like, you don't care. Like Mike Tyson said, Ali, man, he was willing to die in that ring. Man, I'm not willing to die. And Tyson was the baddest man on the planet.
I'm not willing to die. He's willing to die. I'm not willing to die.
Like there's a certain like level.
Yeah.
You know? Just like, hey, with Bud and Canelo, man. Like, hey, Bud got hit, start fighting back, man. Mm-hmm. A lot of people get hit and they back off and try to save themselves. Self-preservation is a demon, man. Yeah. Okay? That'll stop you from fulfilling the will that's inherited to you within your lot. Okay? So with that being said, we'll give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rafakodash. Double honor to our apostles, which are GMS, who rule well. Blessed salutations to you, brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom. What'd you say? We're not